Hey guys, Mr. Epic Dragon 47 here, and today I'm going to be showing some top tier weapons, and I'm planning on doing this as a whole series. And just to let you know, this is mostly in my opinion and how I use the weapons. I'll only be doing 5 per slot with each class. Anyway, today I'll be doing the Scout's top tier weapons. Let's start out with the primary weapons. Number 5, the Babyface's Blaster. Now, what I like about this weapon is the fact that you can run at very high speeds, but that's only if you can get the boost meter up. The whole better accuracy thing throws me off sometimes, because I can never seem to hit anyone unless I'm right in the face. And considering that the fact that I'm a scout right in someone else's face, I'm probably going to be dead in a matter of a few seconds. Also, when you have the boost, you can't jump, which is something a scout is pretty much known for. Now, it does a lot less damage as opposed to a regular scattergun, and like I said, the accuracy thing throws me off a lot, making this number 5. Number 4, the Force of Nature. This weapon can be hard to master because of the knockback on it, but once you start to understand the mechanics, it can be pretty efficient. Usually I see Force of Nature scouts have to go to the back lines of the enemy team and confuse oblivious snipers, and maybe if you're up close to someone. This weapon is not so great in the fact that you can only get 2 shots, and if you fire 1 shot, you lose 2 of the 32 ammo if you reload. This weapon does a little bit more damage than the Scattergun, but not enough to make it so much better. Number 3, the Shortstop. What I like about this weapon is the fact that it is a Scattergun and the pistol combined. I also like the reload on it because it reloads the 4 bullets you have just like the pistol would reload. Each pellet does about 2 times more damage, but there are 55 to 60% less pellets per shot, meaning that it does less damage per shot. Like I vaguely said before, it has 4 shots instead of 6, making the reload more needed than the regular scattergun. Number 2, the Soda Popper. Something that interests me about this weapon is the fact that it does the same amount of damage per shot as a scattergun, but with 2 shots instead of 6. Of course, it does 8 seconds of mini crits after a certain amount of time with running around with it. It's a really good idea to have a pistol to go along with this weapon so that you can have the mini crit charge almost full and pop it whenever you need it, and still do damage with your pistol. Number 1, the Scattergun. Even though other Scatterguns have better things about them, they all have major downsides. The regular Scattergun, on the other hand, has no downsides. 6 shots that, as the name implies, scatter when you shoot, which can do chip damage to players farther away. This weapon is terrific close up also. If you get good with the meat shots, which is when all the pellets of the gun hit one person, you can easily take out a player with 3 or 4 shots, if that. Now that I've done the 5 best primary weapons, let's go into the secondary slot. Secondary slot. Number 5, the Winger. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Why would you put this in a top 5 weapons list? It sucks. Well, the reason I put it in here is because you're not really supposed to use your pistol to actually take out someone with full health. You're supposed to use it to finish people off. Anyway, you can easily finish people off with 5 or less shots of your pistol if they're under 100 health, and with the damage boost of this weapon, it's even easier. Number 4, Mad Milk. This weapon is more of a team-based weapon. It doesn't do any damage, but it restores whatever health you dish out to the player covered in it. Any teammate that deals damage to the player soaked in milk will also restore health from it. It also, like say Girardi, shows spies and extinguishes teammates. The reason I put it in number 4 is the reload time. It takes 24 seconds to be restored, which in Team Fortress 2 time is quite a lot. Number 3, the Flying Guillotine. This weapon does bleed damage, which means that people are still getting hurt after you hit them with it. This weapon does mini crits when hit from far range, which I have yet to figure out how far that is exactly. It also does full crits to someone who is stunned with Sandman or scared in Halloween mode with yikes above their head. The thing that makes this weapon number 3 is the fact that it's only 1. That's pretty much the only thing about it that's bad. Number 2, pistol. The pistol. The pistol is just like the scattergun in the fact that there are no ups and downs about it. has 12 shots that are used up in about 2 to 3 seconds, and takes about half a second to reload. Like I said with the winger, it's not used for killing people with full health. It's more used for finishing off a low health enemy. Number 1, Criticola. I like using Criticola more than Bonk because you can still shoot your weapon and do mini crits with it. It's kind of like being marked for death because you take mini crits also. It's kind of like being marked for death with a soda popper, but with any weapon of your choice. The reason I didn't include Bonk in this is because I don't see a need for you to be invulnerable for 8 seconds. Because let's say you're playing Capture the Flag. You bonk because there's a sentry right before you get to the intel. You can't capture the intel while invulnerable, and you're probably going to get killed by the sentry anyway. Now, onto the melee weapons. Melee slot. Number 5, Atomizer. I really like the Atomizer because, of course, you can triple jump. But you're going to have to be used to not using your bat that much to kill people, because it has a slower firing rate and does less damage. A triple jump will make you take 10 damage, which is why the weapon isn't used as much as some of the other bats. In my opinion, if they took off the 10 damage in a triple jump, it wouldn't be overpowered and people would use it, and more people would use it. Number 4, the Sandman. This weapon isn't really used for swinging people, even though there's not a damage penalty on it, but it's used for stunning people and taking them out with a scattergun. The farther the ball travels, the longer the person will be stunned. Players can be stunned from anywhere from 1 to 8 seconds, depending on how far the ball has traveled. The ball itself also does some damage, and like stunning, it does more damage when farther away. Number 3, the Fan of War. I personally love this weapon. And it's great for taking out those stupid heavy medic combos and saving the team. It causes people to be marked for death for 15 seconds, which means that they take mini crits. This weapon is not used for killing people with a Goonbai by itself, but for hitting someone and switching to do mini crits to targets. You can mark as many people as you want at one time, but the bad thing is that it does almost no damage, and someone who's marked for death can tell because there's a sound to go along with it. Number 2, the Boston Basher. Quite honestly, I'm terrible with using the Boston Basher, but anyone who is well can use it to take out tons of people with it. It causes anyone you hit with it to bleed for 5 seconds, and does the same amount of damage with a hit as the regular bat would. The reason I'm terrible with it is because if you miss a hit, you hit yourself and bleed for 5 seconds, which is what I usually do. Number 1, the Holy Mackerel. Okay, yeah, it's silly to use this thing because you're hitting someone with a fish, but the reason I picked it over the regular bat is because it seems to have a weird hitbox. The fish seems to have a larger hitbox than the bat. It also humiliates people, which is also fun. It does the same amount of damage as a bat, and it's pretty much a reskin, but it's fun to mess around with people, and it almost seems to get a better hitbox. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll be doing more of these videos later. Like and subscribe for more. Leave any suggestions in the comments below. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.